Hi, I'm Allison, and I'm a T9, aka trisomy 9 mom, and my son is medically complex. I'm sharing my experience as a parent and caregiver to a medically complex child with a rare disease. Today, I'm teaching you how to set up a tube feed using an infinity feeding pump. This is actually at the request of some of my own friends and family and other people in my village. Because, like many other medical moms, I have a tendency to just do it myself instead of accepting help from the people in my village. So, I'm hoping that by creating this for the people in my own village, that I'll actually create a resource for other parents who would like to accept the help from their village and their friends and family so that they can go to the grocery store or go take a shower or have a date night. Okay, so here's the list of everything you're going to need. First thing, you're going to need your infinity pump. This is an example of what those look like for those of you who are uninitiated. You will also need your feeding bag. These come in a larger size and a smaller size. They look like this. You will also need your feeding tube extension and a Christmas tree connector, depending on the type of extension that you have. On the left here, we have a legacy extension that requires the Christmas tree connector. And on the right is an infit connection. It does not require the Christmas tree connector. And we can't forget why we're here, the food. Uh, Babies will be using breast milk, fortified breast milk, baby formula that you have to mix. My son is a toddler, and his dietitian has recommended that we use Peptamen Junior 1.0. That's what works for him. But different individuals will use different types of feed for their tube feed. Some use purees, whole food blends. It's dependent on the individual and what is recommended by their doctor and their dietitian. So, if you are somebody who is being trained by a parent or caregiver, use whatever it is they tell you to use. You will also need something to hold your feeding pump and bag. You can use an IV pole or some other device. In the top right hand corner over here, I have what we use in my family. This is called a tubie hanger, and this is from an Etsy shop. I believe it's called 3D Tubie Dad. We also used a device from him that he made for the Joey pump when we had the Joey pump. He's a G-Tube parent, and I will link his Etsy shop down in the description below because we love supporting fellow medical parents. Okay, when you get started, you're going to want to go ahead and get everything open and laid out, easily accessible. It's just going to make things easier for you. Here we have the bag, the Christmas tree connector, and our feeding extension. Go ahead and grab your pump, place it on your IV pole or tube hanger, turn it on, and let it go through its loading screens. You'll hear a beep and then it'll flash several different screens. Let it go through that process, and then you'll move on to your next step, which will be to grab the bag and hang it on your IV pole or your tube hanger. Again, whichever you have is fine. You're going to open the door on the feeding pump. You're going to grab your tubing that is attached to your bag. You're going to take the blue piece that is stretchy. You're going to stretch that over the black circle right here. And then you're going to pull the hard plastic piece until you can place it in the pump. And then you will close the door on the pump. Now you're going to adjust the feed rate and volume using the buttons labeled rate and volume and plus and minus. Each one is going to be different based on your patient. Just ask the primary caregiver, they will tell you. Here we have the formula. Again, just use whatever the primary caregiver has given you. This is Peptamen Junior 1.0. This is what my son uses. You're going to go ahead and pour this into the bag like so. Try not to spill it. If you do, it's not the end of the world. All right. Now you're going to prime your pump. First thing you want to do there, you're going to unscrew the end of the tubing. It has a purple cap on it. And once you've done that, you are going to attach that piece of the tubing to the extension. The extension is what is going to be attached to the patient's port. This tubing and the extension needs something to connect it at that transition point because it is a legacy connector, not an infit connector. So that's how we connect those with that little Christmas tree connector. You're going to take the tip of the extension and you're going to place it either in the bag or in the formula bottle. Either is fine. And that's just going to catch any mess you're going to make when you are priming. And you're going to hit the button that says prime. On older pumps, you have to hold the button down. On newer pumps, you can just press the button for, I think, 1.5 seconds and just let go of it and it'll automatically prime. But this one is our backup pump and it is older, so I have to hold it down the whole time. This removes any air from inside the pump, which is helpful for the patient because it keeps them from getting gas, pain, and vomiting. Here's our cute little patient. He's a Tubi friend. It is a teddy bear that has a real G tube or GJ tube. These are provided to parents free of charge from Tubi friends. I'm going to link them down below for those of you who are interested in getting one for your family or for donating. This one is a little bit different from my son's. He has a G Jet. This one just looks different, but it still has a gastric port and a jejunal port. You're going to take your extension with the line on it. You are going to line up the straight line on the port with the straight line on the extension, and you're going to push it in. And you are going to turn in the direction that says lock until it stops moving. And then you will unclamp your extension. That is important. If not, it's just going to block the food from going into your patient. Now you're going to close your bag and you are going to hit the button that says run on the pump. You'll hear a beep and the screen will show run on the display, and that is how you know it's running. Now you have successfully set up a tube feed. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope that this helps you teach other people how to tube feed.